teenagers in our church. I heard about a small group of teenagers. Some of the white teenagers got on the phone with one of the black teenagers in our church and said, we just want to listen. Tell us about your journey. So what happened? They knew each other. They were connected together. And then he began to tell them about racism and how he was called this, and this happened there, and this happened this, and this took place. And they were like, I can't believe that. That happened to you? What? I would have never thought that. And they learned and they listened, and then he was able to say, well, what are your thoughts? And they were able to have a real conversation connected together. This very week, I connected with some of my friends that are black pastors in our city. Shot him a text, said to him verbally when I was able to, I love you. I want you to know in this stressful time, I love you, and you're a man of God, and you're a brother in Christ, and I love you. And I want you to know I'm glad we're brothers in Christ. And let me tell you what happened. Bop, here comes the text back. Pastor, we love you. Greg, we love you. Thank you. And it's an honor. A couple of them I serve on a board with. I'm honored to serve on the board with you. I just want you to know that from a white pastor to a black pastor in the city, you're in my boat vocationally. There's all different kinds of ways you can make this boat happen. I'm not saying make your boat racially. This isn't some kind of racism to make racism go away. I'm just saying some safe people that you can get with to be able to do this. Because here's the deal. Here's what's happening. Can I just be honest with you? We are afraid to have difficult conversations because we're afraid, many of us, that we're going to say something wrong. And it's going to make it worse than it was before. So what happens is we just say, well, I just won't say anything at all, and I'll just kind of stay away a little bit. I want to encourage you with people. Who is it that you know? Who do you work with? Who's around you? Who's different than you? If you don't know anybody that's different than you, then you got another problem. To be able to get those folks around so that you can have a real conversation, a listening conversation. Discussion these days feels very dangerous. We feel like we're one tweet or one non-tweet, one social post or one I didn't social post, one I said this or I didn't say this, one thing away about getting fired, about being totally offensive and not knowing it. And so what happens is that nobody has real conversations. Everybody just watches the news, and you can tell what station they're watching by what their talking points begin to happen. We just mimic and parrot conversations. And instead, I think we need to get together and to be able to talk. So I've had some groups, campus pastors and I, we've been talking real frankly. We've been able to connect like that. I want to have that more with some other friends to be able to connect and to be able to connect. Build that bond in your boat so that you can say, well, who do I work with? Who am I with? Who am I around? Who's in my neighborhood? Who's my friends? Who's my college friends? Who are my high school friends? Who can I call that would be a safe place for me to go, hey, let's talk. Will you help me understand? Will you tell me some things? Can I ask you some questions I don't feel like I can ask anywhere else? And to have that connection, here's what's got to happen. We've used this before in teaching. There is an iceberg of a person's life. Okay, can that be our iceberg? And there's the water level. Okay, so we've got an iceberg with a water level, and this is what we see of people, visible. We see things out of people, right? I can look at you, you can look at me, you can see stuff, and be able to see what's going on. Right now, you can look at me, and you can make 1,000 assumptions, right? Okay, pastor, white guy, this, that, and the other, bum, 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 make all these assumptions. Well, you know what? I know me, and I know some of the things you might assume looking at me right now, and you know what? Some of those things aren't true. Some of those things aren't true, because there's another aspect that is kind of this part, that there's parts that are less visible, right? And then there's the things that maybe will be all the way down here of confidential, we could call it, that we're able to look at something that we say, well, that's too far, or not visible, we could say in another way. And so here we've got to be able, with relationships and friendships, move underneath the water level and get to some things of the heart. And to really have some real conversations. Because here, if we just stay up here, then we're missing the heart. For God does not look at the outward appearance as man does. God does not look at the outward appearance as man does. God looks at the heart. That's what it says in the Old Testament, the Scriptures, and Chronicles. So we need to get here. So what I'm asking, what I'm saying, what I'm trying to give you an action step is to get on the phone, get in person, get coffee with, talk with somebody, and say, what are the less visible things that I don't know about being whatever your race is? What does this mean? How do I get here? And is there anything here you'd like to share that's in here? You know, not everybody wants to take their deepest, darkest hurts and just put it out on the table. Now, some folks, they'll put it on Facebook, this section here. I mean, that's the way it goes, right? And there's some folks that get really uncomfortable underneath the waterline. And you got to work that out. This is based on friendship. This is based on depth of relationship, right? So that's how it goes. Hey, thanks for watching. To find out more about Houston's First, you can subscribe to our channel or you can go to houstonsfirst.org.